Hello and welcome to I Am Geek, and this is episode 138. My name's Ryan. I'm joined by my brother Chris and our good pal Katrin. And tonight we have a very special guest join us straight from YouTube, the tubes of you, is Dano from the Dano channel. Hey Dano, how you doing?
Good. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing good.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah, happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me on.
Yeah, anytime. We love having guests on. I've been out of town. I've been at Disney, so we're getting back into it. We know that you love Disney.
Yep.
So we're probably going to talk about Disney tonight and Star Wars. It's going to happen.
Right? Yeah, that's
It's going to happen.
No.
If you don't know who Dano is, then you should. He's on YouTube, and he's been on there since 2014. Is that right?
I think, yeah, my first video was like March 20th of 2014.
Which I went back and looked. It was
my channel's changed a lot since then.
Yeah.
I used to do like Disney painting like on shoes and stuff when I first started, and now it's mostly like lightsabers and Galaxy's Edge stuff. So there's been a little bit of an evolution throughout the years.
Yeah, I went through and I looked at I basically stalked you on YouTube and went through basically your channel and I saw
the views.
Yeah, I saw the it started with shoes and then it went to sort of you did a little bit of unboxing and some vlogging, and then you did
all the Loot Crate, and remember when that was the big thing? Yeah,
I got
that for a little while. Yep.
Then you did hashtag VEDA. Do you remember that?
Oh, Veda. Yeah, it's been a long time since I attempted and failed at that. So that's still a thing they do every year, every April or August, like vlogging every day in August or April. Veda. And yeah, I tried that for a little while, and I am terribly just inconsistent when it comes to trying to keep a daily schedule like that. I've tried, failed a few times over the years.
So what got you into YouTube? What got you started down this road?
So it actually goes back to the shoe painting. So back in, I think it was 2013, I quit my day job and I started getting into just painting shoes like Tom's, but all Disney artwork. And I was selling through Etsy, and I was home all day, and my son was like 4 at the time. And so instead of having him in daycare, he just stayed at home with me, and all he did all day was watch YouTube. And so I'm sitting there painting and stuff, during the day and watching him, being like, I can maybe double dip here, record myself painting, make a little bit of extra money off the views and AdSense off my painting, and also sell the painting to somebody. So it was an idea just to, figure out a way to double dip with my time. And I started watching the channels he watched, EvanTube, a lot of like the kids stuff and family kind of channels. And just started thinking, I can do that. And I slowly started to branch out from the painting into, like you mentioned, Loot Crate unboxings and, just family vlogs. Let's go into the aquarium or whatever. And at some point, I got partnered with Maker Studios. I think it was about a year in. And Maker was, at that point, bought by Disney. Disney had bought Maker Studios. And I was like, oh, cool. Disney bought Maker. They reached out to me and said, hey, we're, recruiting a bunch of channels. And basically, I don't know if you're too familiar with what a multi-channel network is on YouTube, but they're not great. They're really not. They have a tendency to not be too great sometimes. But what they'll do is they'll take a cut of your revenue for channels and in exchange give you access to royalty-free music or, extra analytics kind of stuff. And they always promise a lot and don't really deliver a whole bunch. But since Maker was bought by Disney, Disney was pushing really hard to grow some of these smaller channels. And I was really fortunate to go to like a creator conference in Florida. At one point, we even did, as a family, we created a pilot for Disney XD.
Oh, wow.
It's called Travel Size Adventures. And they paid us $1,000 to go make a video. We just sent them a pitch and they went for it. They picked, like a handful of them. And then they sent us and we did it was like a kids travel show. Oh. So the channel's like evolved into all kinds of different stuff. And through that, actually Star Wars Celebration in 2015, it was in Anaheim. And while we were there, I was like, well, let's do a bunch of Disneyland videos and vlogs because that's something that's hot too. Let's try that out. And while we were there, my youngest son did the build your own lightsaber station. You put all the little pieces together and all. And, he made a little video on that and was like, okay, cool. And there's more videos on Celebration, whatever. And a couple months later, I go and look at, my analytics of my videos of which ones are doing good. And I'd seen, and at this point, I've maybe had 1,000, maybe 2,000 subscribers. Pretty, low numbers at that point for me. And I noticed that one video of him building the lightsaber had racked up like 60,000 views. I was like, oh, this video's doing great. I had no idea. Like I just forgot about it. So I thought, why not see if I can do that again? And so I went back to the station. I was like, well, let's do a video about how to build this specific lightsaber. And let's do another one of this specific lightsaber. And I just went through all the combinations I could think of, making videos and releasing them periodically. And that is kind of what got the ball rolling for my channel in the specific direction of Star Wars.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you do what you got to do to.
Exactly. Find what works.
Yeah.
I was like, well, this is great. I love Disneyland. I've been going for like 20 years now regularly. And I don't live in California. I always have to visit. I live in Nevada. And, I also have a whole collection of Star Wars micro machines. And that's another thing that I saw. I was like, well, the Star Wars seems to be favored by the algorithm on my channel. Let's try doing reviews on Star Wars micro machines. Even though they're old, this stuff doesn't exist on YouTube. So why not be the guy to put it there? And that's another thing that just it did pretty well for me. And still to this day, not many people have those old sets from the 90s. And I have almost the full collection. I haven't reviewed all of them yet, most of them. But I'm kind of like just trickling them out over the years just to keep people coming back.
That's cool. Yeah, I loved micro machines when I was growing up. I had a bunch of them. Because you could have a bunch of them because they were micro. So
they're so small. That's why I always tell people they're the best Star Wars toy because you get so much bang for your buck.
Yeah. I had like an aircraft carrier, and it was like the size about, I don't know, a little smaller than a shoebox that you could store all your micro machines in. I had planes and cars, and I don't know if you remember.
This year for Star Wars Celebration, they had all the fan panels and exhibit things you can sign up for. Just the deadline just ended last week. I signed up. I don't know if I'm going to get it. Fingers crossed. But I submitted to do a history of Star Wars micro machines.
Oh, cool.
Because I would love to just bring that out. And I mean, Celebration's the place for it.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'll find out in June if they pick me and I get to do a little fan presentation on that subject.
Hopefully it'll happen. I mean, hopefully that Celebration will still happen.
Yeah, for sure.
We could get into that in a little bit. What's going on
plus,
in the world?
I mean, micro machines are so cool too because if you have people breaking into your house, you can put them on your floor and they'll trip and fall.
Step on them.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy. Chris only thinks in Home Alone things.
I only think of Home Alone turns. That's only. If you haven't listened to the show, that's all I talk about is Home Alone.
Okay, but one or two, Home Alone 1 or Home Alone 2. What's your favorite?
Oh, favorite? I mean, it'd be one.
One.
Yeah, but I mean, they built the whole house inside a swimming pool when they filmed it.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, they did. Yeah. Well, for the flooding of the basement, they built like the house inside of a swimming pool at a high school so they could flood the basement. I'm really not that big of a fan. I just know we're in.
Oh my God. You know you're Home Alone, man. Wow.
On the first day they were on set.
Although we had an uncle. We had an uncle when I was a kid who was getting older, and he swore up and down that I was the kid in the movie. Like he would see commercials and we'd go visit him. Uncle Spencer.
Really?
We'd go visit him. Yeah, and he'd be like, "You're doing such a good job. I've been seeing you on the TV with the advertisements. Good for you. I'm so proud of you." And our parents were like, "Just go with it. It's fine."
Yep, that's me. So I did a little digging and I found out that your most popular video has 392,000 views. That's 1,000. That's crazy. And it's about Savi's custom lightsabers.
Oh, really? I didn't even see. I don't check too often anymore. I try not to. But it's about Savi. Is it the review on Savi's lightsabers, like the full review?
It's let's build every Savi's custom lightsaber.
Okay, so I thought that one was in like third place for my post. So that one must have recently picked up a bunch of views. Yeah. That's cool. I didn't know that. Thanks for sharing that with me. But I made that video that's why I went and bought all of Savi's lightsabers. I went and I was like, you know what? This is an investment because they're not cheap. They're $200 a pop. Mm-hmm. And I figured out that, you need to buy 2 of each theme to get every piece. So luckily, back in the summer when they did that scrap metal thing for a few days at Disneyland, I was able to buy 3 lightsabers worth of pieces. So I spent $20 a piece. So I spent $300 instead of having to spend $600 to get those like lightsaber pieces. I just don't have the inner chassis, but I already have 5 other ones from the other 5 lightsabers I built. So I saved a little bit, but like fortunately with my channel, that investment paid off because with the views and what I make back on that video is paid for itself at this point.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So that means, let's see, I need to tell my wife. She just poked her head in that I need to make these videos so I can buy more lightsabers.
I mean, it's not wrong. You're not wrong.
She goes, "What are you talking about?" But yeah, so I've got 2 Savi's lightsabers, so that's probably all I'm going to get. But I didn't pay for either one of them.
Oh, nice.
Sneaky.
Gifts?
He didn't steal them either.
No, I didn't steal them. They were gifts from
regular
people.
con artist.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. So technically, I haven't bought either one, so that means I could still buy one.
Yeah.
beats by another one, yeah.
And if you're getting one, you might as well get 2.
What?
Gotta complete.
What is that? How does that work?
So if you
Logic.
have 2, which theme did you go with?
So I have.
Or were they just sent to you? Like, did you get to build them?
No, I
or were
built
they
them.
just sent to you? Okay.
I have the Peace and Justice,
Injustice? Yeah.
and then Power and Controls back there.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, I've got to have the balance in the Force. I've got to have the
Yeah.
light side and the dark side. It's just how it's got to be. But I like them both. I think I went back to Disney last week and I took my Power and Control simply because it has the CoverTech wheel on it, and it's just easier to carry around.
With the clip?
Yeah, than the D-ring that just sort
Yeah,
of
the D-ring
swings.
swings around a lot, and it really does kind of hit your leg, and it's, yeah. That's the only downside of the D-ring.
Yeah. But then I also took my, which you saw, this is sort of how we came together.
I saw this on Reddit.
I took my dark saber inspired sleeve that I made for Savi's with me to show off. I sort of wanted to be the first one in the park with it because I have started. People have asked to buy them, so I've started sort of selling them on Etsy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so they immediately sold out. It was crazy.
Now, if you don't mind sharing the secret, or what did you do to make it? Because I saw it, but I purposefully did not want to pick your brain on how, because I'm big on like, well, let me figure it out myself. And I made a video recently about like how I did my own by taking it apart, inspired by yours. But I didn't want to know too much. I don't like to, I don't want to replicate the exact same thing somebody else did. But I want to like get inspired by the idea and make something else, and hopefully inspire somebody else to try something new too.
For sure, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna grab one. Hold on, I'm gonna grab one, and I'll show you. Hold on.
Do you have a favorite saber that you've made at the park?
No. I mean, I like them all.
You like them all?
Like, so when I started doing the old build your own lightsaber, the plastic ones,
Yeah.
I really got into that. Like, just like all the different pieces and the idea of just this modular setup. And they made a set in 2005 that was for Revenge of the Sith. They made a set for Clone Wars that was very similar. And I've kind of like done the history and followed the evolution of the build your own lightsaber toy thing. Yeah. And so when they did this with Savi's, but with real metal pieces and the same idea, I was like, I just have to have them all. In fact, I've literally got just like random pieces laying all around my desk.
You have your own Savi's.
When I'm bored, I just sit there and do different combos. And like the one that I've got now next to me, this is my weird little dark saber one. It's a mix of Peace and Justice and Power and Control. So I just love mixing and matching.
So you've gotten like every piece, like every single little piece.
Yeah, that video you mentioned that had 300 some thousand views. It was me going over every piece, and in that video building one lightsaber from each theme, like laying out all the pieces from the theme, building it like in a video setting like this, and then with the leftover pieces at the end, I made one Franken saber out of everything.
It's the coolest thing. It makes me want all of those pieces. I'm just like, oh, I want that one. I want that one.
Like now I'm at the point where are there any that I want doubles of to maybe, do like, because with 3D printing, there's people doing the connectors, so you can have a double lightsaber. You can make something that, I don't know if you guys played Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah.
But when you get the double lightsaber and you start customizing the pieces, you can do that in game, but I want to be able to do it in real life.
There you go.
Sure. Yeah, who wouldn't?
I guarantee that they'll have another category, or whatever you want to call it, that they'll bring out.
They're going to have to, at some point, maybe a year out or something, add themes or change up the pieces a little bit. Because though there's a lot of them, you really are kind of limited on the combinations you can make within each theme.
Yeah.
Soon they'll be having you can make your own broom, like the Broom Kid.
Broom, yeah.
Yeah. It's just making all the different kind of brooms that you can use to. Yeah.
That's kind of
Golf
slipping
department.
into the other park, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can take it over to Harry Potter Land
Well,
and actually you're full.
Yeah, I did. Well, on my last trip there, I was carrying around my Darksaber, and this guy, one of the custodians or whatever they call them in Galaxy's Edge, I don't know what they call them there, came up to me. He goes, "I love your lightsaber," and he goes, "Here's mine," and he lifted up his broom, and I was like, "Are you the kid from The Last Jedi, all grown up?" And he said, "What's The Last Jedi?" I was like, "Oh, yeah,
You don't know that.
yeah, you don't know. It's something from my world." I was like, "You really don't need to know what it is." He goes,
It's
"Yeah,
not worth knowing."
He goes, I've been saving up to take a trip to Canto Bight. And I'm like, that's sort of a meaningless side quest you don't really need to go on. And he started dying laughing. So he found us on Instagram, and he just said, Canto Bight is a random side quest. And that's all he said on Instagram. I was like, I know who that is.
That's awesome.
That's funny.
But so here's the sleeve that I made.
That's the sleeve. That's awesome.
Yeah, so
Okay, so I was wondering, based on the photos, it did look like you had two long strips of clear like down the sides. I like that look. I think that's really cool. That's something I didn't do on mine, but I might go back in and shave off some of the paint.
Yeah.
So
it's I was trying to, because if you know the Darksaber, which we do, or listeners don't know, it's black, but it's got a white glow that surrounds it.
Yeah.
So since the Savi's blades and all lightsaber blades are rounded, I was like, how am I going to make that effect? So I did the strips on the top and the bottom, so it would go all the way around it with the white, and I use a white crystal, and then you just slide it on. I made a little ring thing to hold it on. But
okay.
Just slide off.
Gotcha.
And then when you turn it on,
yeah, that looks great.
And it's just a sleeve, and people were like going crazy when they saw this thing at Disney. And I was telling them it's just a sleeve, and they're like, "Oh, Disney's going to start making those."
I'm sure they will at some point.
Yeah. So,
the ultimate form of flattery is having Disney steal your idea.
Yeah.
$100.
But I get
That's
a lot
cool.
of inspiration by just walking around Lowe's or Home Depot or something. And I was walking through the light section. This is my secret. I don't know if I should give it. I don't care. I saw fluorescent bulbs, and I saw the protectors that go around them. And that's all that is.
Oh, wow.
Is a light bulb protector that I've cut down and painted. So it's really light, because people ask, does it make it heavier? No, it's really light. It slides right over the blades. And if you paint it right, it looks pretty cool. Now, I went through a lot of different ones that I painted. The first one I painted, it didn't look that great. So this was like my...
That's kind of how I feel about mine. I'm like, this is a rush job I did in a few hours. I was like, it looks okay. It's okay. It's all right. Look, this has red in it now, but...
Yeah. I really like the red with yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, the red looks cool. A lot of people keep telling me I need to put it in a Kylo Ren saber.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't have a legacy saber for it, but
I guess you'll have to buy one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it came out great. I like it.
That's cool. You know what the cool thing about all this Galaxy's Edge stuff and like the community has been is all this custom stuff. The like people's minds are coming up with some cool stuff. Another sleeve type idea that I saw at the last lightsaber meetup was a 3D printed version that goes over the hilt, stops about here, and it looks like kind of like flame or energy.
Yeah,
but it's just 3D printed and slips right over it. That's great. That's what a cool like extra little thing you can do.
Yeah,
it's amazing. But yeah, people are making like Star Wars IDs now.
Yeah.
I've been going around giving out 3D credits and like Beskar and doing the bounty hunt stuff, and the community is really
Somebody
awesome.
gave me a 3D printed coin that had the Mandalorian on it when they saw my Darksaber, and they said, "This is for
I know
you."
I've got one or two around here somewhere, but yeah, my desk is literally like credits and Beskar and bounty pucks and all kinds of stuff, just like ready to go.
Yeah, it was cool because like so many people run up to me and they were saying, "Are you the guy from Reddit?" And I'm like, "I guess I am." It's me.
That's awesome.
I've got another one. I'm not gonna spoil it on the show. I'm working on another sleeve that if it turns out right, um, it's going to be so cool.
Awesome.
So I don't want to like.
I'll be watching Reddit for it.
Yeah. Hopefully, I'll be able.
Is that primarily where you post? Like, is that your go-to social network as far as your?
Well, I've never been on Reddit, and then
I'm fairly new to it myself. Actually,
I mean, I'm really new to it. I just somebody, I don't know if somebody recommended it or something, and I went on there, and I was like, oh, this is a pretty cool community. So I just started posting, like, I think like the first thing I posted on there was my I have I made a lightsaber rack out of IKEA wine racks, and I put all my old school lightsabers from growing up, like all the toy ones from episode 1 on the light on the I would show you, but it's like on the wall over there.
I think I've seen that done with the IKEA rack before.
Yeah. So that was like the first thing I posted on Reddit, and that blew up. And then I was just like, I should make other stuff. I should do other stuff. And so I just started getting ideas. I'm working on the lightsaber sleeves. I've got a lantern on there that I made that looks.
Oh, the kyber crystal holder.
It's that same lantern, but I've made it into a Savi's lantern, and when you open it, it's like stained glass looking, and it's got each of the Savi's. It's got peace and justice, all of them, power control, all their symbols. When you open it up, it looks like a stained glass container thing. And I took that to Galaxy's Edge one time, and people were like going crazy on that. Nobody bought that one though, but I like it.
Yeah, that sounds cool. Yeah, I should probably look up pictures on that.
And then I made the lightsaber holder in Savi's. I think it's back there. That you use in the workshop. Yeah, I made the stand.
Yeah, I printed out one of those myself. I need to paint it and put it together.
I wish I had a 3D printer. All my stuff is like, I just have to figure out what materials to use and make it.
That's fun though. Yeah. That's like sometimes 3D printing does take the fun out of that, figuring it out, because there is something to that.
Yeah, I made that one out of PVC pipe, and then the it's like PVC sheets. So it's all PVC, but I've made it look like metal through painting and stuff. So it's on my Etsy shop too. I am Geek Shop. But and then
plug.
This is sorry, this is not about me, but and then I'm making a life size kyber crystal holder that they use in Savi's workshop. When you pick the lights, because I've seen all these ones people making these things, and I'm like, I want one that looks like the one in the shop.
Yeah.
So it's going to be the same size and everything. I've started working on that. So that will be coming soon. I don't know if I'll sell that one, because that one, I don't know if people will buy it because what I'd have to price it as.
That's why a lot of the stuff I make, I just make for me.
Yeah.
I don't want to go through this again, because it's a lot of work. Yeah. It's a lot of work making this stuff, and people generally don't want to pay what it's actually worth if you factor in your time and effort and everything. So usually I'll make something cool and I'll be like, yeah, that's just for me.
Yeah, that's so that's what I started. I mean, the lightsaber sleeve was just for me. And then I'm like, well, I'm going to put it at a price that I think that it deserves, and nobody's going to buy it, and that's fine. And then everybody bought it, and I'm like, are you serious?
Like, now I got to make them.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not gonna make it. But I'm a stay-at-home dad, so a little bit of funds helps out.
Yeah.
They just probably go back into my Star Wars habit, but I did. I customized the. I'm sorry, we're gonna quit talking about me.
And we're gonna look at your
what are we looking at here?
Oh, I customized the Mace Windu Legacy Saber case.
Oh, okay.
To make it look sort of match the saber inside.
Yeah,
that was just a fun job for me. I love those Legacy saber cases. But that's the thing about Galaxy's Edge, and I want to talk about that a little bit. Do you just want to buy everything that you see there?
Yeah, and I'm almost there. Honestly, I'm almost there. I think I'm missing like 3 creatures, the Jedi robes. There's some of the stuff in the toy shop that I haven't picked up, like the instruments or the chess game, and some of those wooden toys or the plushies, because I'm not going to do much with those. but I mean, darn near everything else.
I know.
I think I've picked up, I've almost picked up most of it. I've got my fifth droid now. No,
Wow.
six. There's 4 that I'm painting. Yeah, I mean, everything that comes in the channel, I just get to like, cool. Channel funds means when I go to Disneyland, like when I get a YouTube check, yeah, I get to buy the pilot costume this trip, or or whatever it's gonna be. So, but yeah, everything. Eventually, I think I'll own everything that I can at least fit into, or have some room for here in my office.
Yeah, it's rather addicting. I came back with some stuff on this last trip. I don't know why I bought it, but I was like, this would be cool to wear in conventions and stuff. So I bought the Rebel badges.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, where's mine? I have it close. Yeah, the little the rank badges.
Yeah, the rank badges. I was like, I want those. So I bought them and wore them around Galaxy's Edge, and maybe I'll just start wearing them around the house. Just, don't you
make
see?
them respect you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you see my rank?
General will really respect you then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They love that kind of thing.
Somebody gave me the little spider thing that's over your shoulder on my last trip. I forget what they're called.
Oh, the Krykna. Yeah, the little Krykna spider.
Yeah, I forgot what they're called. But so I immediately brought it home and I put it in my bed on my wife's side under the covers. I didn't tell her. And last night,
she freaked out.
Yeah, she freaked out.
She loved it.
Yeah, she loves when you do stuff like that.
There it is. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
They're cool. They're like magnetic.
Like literally everything is within arm's reach right now. I have no room in here.
So, is there anything that you've gotten from Galaxy's Edge that you're like, this is dumb? Why did I get this?
Trying to think here. The holocrons, as cool as they are one of the things that I don't go back to as often. So, I mean, they're for $50, or technically $100 if you buy both. I love the idea of the kyber crystals, and I like the idea of the holocron, but that's like the one item that I kind of wanted more from.
Yeah.
For what they do and for the price, I'm like, it could have been a little bit, quality could have been a little bit better, and they could have done a little bit more. I don't know. That's really the only thing that I can think of. Some of the hats, like I bought the Rebellion hat. It's got like ribs on the top and a Rebellion symbol or resistance symbol in the front, and it's just too small. And it's a complaint I've seen from a lot of people is that like, these things are like tiny, and I just bought it thinking, I'll just buy it and wear it whenever, put it in a bag. It wasn't until I got back home that I'm like, oh, this thing barely fits. Like, what? So that's kind of disappointing. But really, that's about it. Most of the stuff I go back to, I keep my droids with me. You can't see them all, but I keep all my droids with me to the side, and sometimes I'll just turn stuff on. I actually got one of those chips. Somebody on Etsy is selling the Bluetooth like beacon. So I can pick the different, like, this is the Droid Depot beacon, or this is the Savi's Workshop beacon, and just turn it on and let my droids just go for hours while I'm working on stuff.
Wow, that's cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, my son got a droid when we were there last October. He loves it. He plays with that thing all the time. And I was so impressed by the response time for this, radio controlled thing that it actually responds very well.
Yeah. Yeah, they're decent for what they're. I mean, $100 is a little overpriced, but it's Disney, and it's Star Wars, so it's gonna be.
Yeah, and you got the experience thrown in, so.
Yeah. Like the droids, I think are probably one of the more worth it items. When people ask me, do I get a droid or do I get a lightsaber? I always say droid because I feel like they do more than the lightsaber. Lightsaber's cool to look at. I mean, it just depends on who you are and what you're into. But even though I have all the lightsabers and all the stuff, I still think the droids are like my favorite. I don't like to use the word favorite because it changes all the time, but I would say the droids are like the best thing, the thing I go back to, use the most, and actually have the most enjoyment out of all the Galaxy's Edge merch.
And when robots do take over the world, you kind of want some on your side.
I'll have a little army ready.
Yeah.
Do you have all the kyber crystals?
Yeah. Well, no. I have all the colors, but I'm missing 8-ball Vader. Was it Mace Windu version 2 and 8-ball Yoda? Those are the only ones I'm missing.
Yeah, I got
I have a million Dooku's though.
Oh, I've got 3 Palpatines. And I'm like, come on. Because somebody, I go to Disney and people give me stuff. Somebody gave me the Sith holocron, so I'm like, well, I've got to get a couple more red crystals so I can, have a little variety. So I got a couple, and they were both Palpatine, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me! Out of all the ones, I pretty much
they should just sell a set.
Yeah,
they should just sell. Here are all the crystals. Just here's the pay $200 or whatever for the whole set. You don't got to mess around with blind bags or trying to get the black. You can just get it.
Yeah.
It'd be so much easier. People would be so much happier, and they could rake in a pretty good amount of money still. They wouldn't lose out a whole lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I've pretty much given up on the black one. I'm like, I'm gonna keep buying them just to get the black one. I'm just gonna do like you did in that one video and just take a Sharpie and color it black.
Oh yeah. That was a fun video. That was like the trolly kind of video that I made. But I even put in the thumbnail in Arabesh in the corner, "This is clickbait," or it's like, "Do not watch this video," or something. And still, some people got really mad at me for that video. Most of my audience knew I was going to make it because I talked about it in a live stream ahead of time. Yeah. I was like, I think next week I'm going to make a video where I just troll everybody about the black crystal. And then, I titled it "The New Way to Find the Black Crystal." And it was me just about the history of it for 10 minutes. And at the end, all I do is just hit it with my airbrush and make it black. And it was just this big old build up for nothing. And it ends with my Kowakian monkey lizard just laughing and yelling "Moof Milker" over and over.
I probably will paint one of my white ones, because then I could have the black crystal in my dark saber.
Oh yeah,
and it will just show up white, because I think that's what it should have been in the first place, anyways. Yeah. Instead of the red, because the red I don't know, doesn't make sense to me.
Now, I did get 2 blacks. I don't know if you saw that video from last month.
Oh, you got 2 of them.
Oh.
I bought 10 at once. So at Disneyland they opened up a policy.
Currently, I did see that video. Yes.
Today, they don't have any. I was there a week or 2 ago, and they had no reds.
Oh, wow.
And then I heard a couple days later they have the loose reds in a bowl, so no chance of getting black. But when I was there in January, they allowed you to buy at least 10, or you could buy 10 of each color. So I bought 10 reds. I was like, you know what? Let's play the odds here. Let's see, because I'd heard it wasn't as much as it was when it opened. When it opened, it was rumored 1 in 100, 1 in 300, 1 in 85. All numbers were being shared out there. But I heard when they repackaged them and added the black paper inside, that makes it hard. You can't do the light, flashlight trick. When they repackaged them, the odds got better. So I knew a guy who was buying them and reselling them to people online. And so he had actually asked me, he said, "Hey, I need a body," because they would only sell you 2 per person. But you could do it like a group of 5, and he could buy 10 if he had 5 people to say, "Yeah, I'm with him. He's buying them for me." So I was just standing there to say, "Yeah, I'm with him," so he could buy a bunch of lights or kyber crystals. And I'd ask him, say, "Hey, what is it like? What are you seeing the odds are lately since you've been buying so many?" He told me about 1 in 7.
Wow.
I'm like, okay, he's going through hundreds of these things.
Yeah.
So I decided, I'm going to buy 10 and let's see what happens. And out of those 10 that I bought, I got two black crystals.
There you go. Yeah, somebody walked out of the store when I was there. And they bought 2, and they opened them up, and they were both black. And they're like, "Oh, look at there, both black."
Wow.
And I'm like, "Come on, man."
And you hit him over the head, took it, and ran.
Wish. But yeah, I mean, I love Galaxy's Edge. I could just live there, I think.
It just needs to be a little bigger.
Yeah, I think that will come with time, because I'm pretty sure a bunch of those buildings we see, the facades, are just empty shells. That
some of them, yes. Some of them, yeah. But Disneyland specifically doesn't have a whole lot of room to expand past it. Yeah. So they're locked in. Hollywood Studios has a little bit more room back there they can play with, but Disneyland, I don't know. They'd have to get real creative, and they already did, having to shave down the Rivers of America and all that to make it even work as is. But yeah, I want more, but I don't know how they can actually deliver on that.
Yeah.
Double decker. They just go up.
Let's go up.
Build down.
Yeah. Because Disney World's getting the hotel, which is going to.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Crazy.
I can't wait for that, but my bank account can wait for that.
How much? Yeah, how much would you be willing to pay to stay at the Star Wars hotel?
I'm guessing it's given the rumors. There's been no confirmed pricing. Everyone throws around the numbers they've seen in rumor sites, but I think they're not too far off. I'm guessing a trip, the 2-day or 2-night, 3-day trip, is going to be around $3,500. But I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's going to be for the room max occupancy of 5, and that covers up to 5 people. I don't know, because when I went on a Disney cruise, it was 3 nights and 4 days, and we spent about that much. Mm-hmm. And it was a similar thing of, you get onto the ship and you do your little excursions and everything else, and food's included, drinks are included, booze is separate, which is always with Disney. But I think that pricing of about $3,500 is in line with Disney's normal, but that would be for a fully occupied room of 5 people, or average family of 4 or whatever. But if that's the case, $3,500 for 4 of us to go for a few days, 2 nights, 3 days on the little thing, I think that's worth it. Anything higher than that, I'm not really going to want to go. Like I'm still going to go. I'm going to do it, but I'll be really reluctant about it. Yeah, and that's one of those things where I might go in with find some of my YouTuber friends who also want to cover it and be like, look, let's split a cabin and we're all going to record everything the whole weekend and just keep our costs as low as possible or something.
Yeah, I've heard rumors that it may be priced per person, which would be crazy. I'm hoping, I don't know, I'm a DVC member, so I'm hoping that
hopefully they'll have some kind of discount. Yeah.
Something for us DVC members. Hopefully, fingers crossed. It'll probably be just a trip for me at some point, because I'm sure my wife would be like, "Yeah, I'm not doing that."
That's all itself for me too. My wife, she just doesn't love Star Wars. She likes it. Okay, she'll watch the movies with me when they're on, but she's not into it like I am. And even my kids aren't. My kids, my oldest is 14, my youngest is 11, and they just want to look at TikTok and play Fortnite.
Yeah.
Or they're kind of no, they like the movies on a very surface level. They're not nearly as into it and nerdy about it as I am.
Yeah, same here. I asked my wife if she wanted to build a lightsaber with me, and she just laughed. I said, no.
I made my wife build one with me because I was like, during the opening when they did the reservation periods, you could only you could only go for 4 hours, and that was it. So when we first did Savi's, I was like, I'm paying for you to build one. I'll tell you exactly what pieces to do, just so I can do now. And then when we come back next week for our next reservation period, we'll build 2 more. And that's how I ended up getting them all so quickly, because I wanted to be one of the first people out there with the video going over all the pieces and all the stuff. Because that's, when it comes to YouTube, sometimes being the first to get that video out helps a lot, depending on what it is.
Yeah. And it's like that with everything. I mean, with the podcasting world, same thing.
Yeah.
That's the one reason I wanted to take my Darksaber to Disney, so I could be the first, so people will be like, oh yeah, we've already seen that. And it was funny. I'm not going to spoil anything for you, Katrin. I'll try not to. But when I took it on Rise of the Resistance, and you know how the cast members on there are very in character.
Oh yeah,
I got him to break character.
Oh really?
Yeah. I walk through and it's all lit up, and this guy, he's all stern, and all of a sudden his eyes light up and he smiles, and then another one goes, "That's the coolest, or that's the best flashlight we've seen the whole time." And so they totally broke character, and then they went back into it, and I'm like, ha ha ha.
You got those people fired.
Yeah. Now they don't have jobs. No. But yeah, Katrin hasn't been on. Well, Chris hasn't been on Rise of the Resistance either, so I don't want to spoil stuff for them. But
I've watched the whole thing online.
It's not the same.
No,
I know it's not the same.
I spoiled myself on it too, because it went to Florida before it went to California, and I go to Disneyland in California, so I had already watched all the coverage and seen everything before I wrote it. But the first time I wrote it, maybe it was because I was delirious from camping out overnight, or being up for 48 hours straight. But it was just some of those scenes and some of the stuff. I don't want to ruin anything for you, but some of the stuff that you see, even if you've seen the videos, it doesn't do it justice on video to when you see some of that stuff in person.
Yeah, I just can't help it. I don't know when I'll get out there. I don't get to go to the parks that often. We usually do Disney cruises. We're huge Disney cruisers. We do one of those a year. So So I'm like, I don't know when I'm going to see this. I'm just going to watch this. More than likely, by the time I get out there, I'm going to forget most of it.
It's a game changer. It's amazing what they did with that ride. It's definitely an experience. It's a piece of art to me, just how they did it and how they put it all together. It's like 18 minutes long, the whole experience.
Yeah, and it's like 4 different kind of experience. It's not really a ride. Yeah, like you're saying, it's more of an experience. Just a Star Wars experience.
Yeah, this last trip I got to experience B mode because part of it was broken. So I don't know if you experienced B mode or not.
I haven't experienced it, but I've heard about
it. Which, if you hadn't rode it before, you wouldn't have known.
You wouldn't know. Yeah, there's no.
Yeah, but since I've rode it before, I was like, wait a second, that's not supposed to happen.
Yeah.
But I won't spoil it.
Well, hopefully, since it seems like the parks are going to be closed for a few weeks, maybe they can work on getting those kinks out.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
They've got a lot of time on their hands, and nobody, like, maybe they'll use this time to get some work done and fix some problems.
Yeah, so this Corona or COD, whatever number it is.
COVID-19.
Yeah, has struck.
It's having a real world effect now, right?
Yeah.
2319.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It is. If you add up I saw the video, somebody added up all the numbers, and it turned into 2319, and they're like,
"Oh, that's funny."
But yeah, I mean, Disneyland and Disney World are going to be closed for like at least 2 weeks.
At least 2 weeks. It hasn't happened since 9/11.
That's crazy.
And that was just for like a day.
Yeah.
Back then, and now it's for 2 whole weeks.
4 times.
Pretty much every park all over the world, plus their cruises, are all on hold.
Yeah. And some insider info that I learned right before we got on from somebody who works there is that the parks are closed and that whoever works in the parks are still getting paid. They can't go to work.
Good.
But the hotels at Disney Springs and some other stores I won't mention are staying open. And those people still have to work.
Okay.
So they're upset that, you mean that all the people in the parks get off and get paid, but we still have to work during this time?
But they're not Disney stores. They're like, retail shops, right? I mean, don't name names if you don't want to, but, they're like the Fossil store and they aren't, those kind of things.
Well, I mean, the hotels are all Disney, so the resorts are Disney.
Sure, but like, what about the third party, the different brand, the Radisson Hotel or wherever?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Those all have their own separate policies. But in Disney Springs specifically, there's a lot of those different shops and different restaurants that aren't Disney owned.
Yeah.
Those
there's
people are going to have their own policies.
There's World of Disney that would still be Disney owned. The one shop that this person works at is Disney owned and is just for Disney. Oh, sorry. That may give some people some clues. I can tell you offline. But they're still having to work, which I was like, really? That's interesting.
Yeah. I saw at Disneyland they're closing on the 14th, which is Saturday, but the hotels are closing on the 16th. So just to give people an extra day or two, to cancel their plans and rearrange stuff. But I wonder what's going to happen in Anaheim at Downtown Disney, because it's a similar situation. Yeah. It's like, why? Mm-hmm. But it's even worse because like it's just two parks. And just like a strip mall is what Downtown Disney is. It's not nearly as big as Disney Springs. But I wonder how that's going to be handled with those stores and those restaurants.
Crazy. I was posting on. Sorry, hold on. Talk among yourselves.
It's all good.
All right, so I was posting on Facebook and Twitter and stuff. I said, right now, you guys may have seen this. Somewhere in the United States, there is a family on a road trip for their spring break, traveling to Disneyland or Disney World.
Driving across the nation.
Driving across the nation.
Yeah, specifically across
and they're going to get there, and there's going to be a sign that says, sorry, we're closed.
Sorry, folks.
Yeah, National Lampoon's Vacation is going to happen in real life. Because there's some dad, he's piled everybody in the car, he's like, no phones, nothing. We're driving, we're having family time. And they're going to get there and be like, sorry, we're closed.
Yeah, Grandma's gonna dial on the way.
No,
probably.
Oh gosh, terrible. Yeah, who said that? That's terrible.
I didn't.
somewhere it's gonna happen. But yeah, this is crazy that it's gonna be basically a ghost town for like.
At least until the end of the month. It might even be longer depending if things get worse or not. So yeah, this is a crazy, weird, historic time right now for Disney parks.
I've got my plane tickets booked for our trip in October, so hopefully
I hope by then. Yeah, by then.
But the bad thing is that towards the end of the year is when everybody's going to try to reschedule their trips because they're giving them some allowance, to be able to reschedule, right? It's going to make it even crazier probably, but whatever. We're going during fall break, so it'll be busy, but it'll be fun.
Yeah,
I got my flights. Really good deal. Yay.
Oh, you booked the flights now?
I did. So Southwest just released their flights for through October 30th. So we're going mid-October. And
that's a good tip.
Yeah, I did it this morning, like as soon as they released them, which I had to keep checking. It was like 8:30 in the morning or something. It was crazy. And no, it was closer to like 9 or so because I was in a meeting and I was like, don't mind me, And so I got my flights. One of the flights was sub $100 and the other one was just above 100. And I checked later and they were up at least $10 since this morning. So. I got kind of lucky. I'm gonna keep checking them because I actually have some other flights through Southwest that in May, and I was able to get money back on those a little bit because they've lowered the prices. So that was exciting. But yeah, we're super excited to go in October because we go every 2 years to Disney World, and this will be my first experience at Batu.
Yeah, nice. We'll be there with you. I can't wait to see your face.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see what my son will want to buy because he bought a Banshee we bought a Banshee from Pandora. He's Pandora, and we got it home and it sat on a shelf until a couple weeks ago, and he put it on and we went in public and he wore it. And he came home and was like, I want to build something. We need to build something to put it on because you can buy the little mount and we didn't buy that. And I was working on building something out of wood and it didn't work, but he ended up finding something else. But he wore it for a day. Yay.
I can see your son just walking around in public with a Banshee on his shoulder.
Yeah, that thing's ridiculous. Well, the most
you gotta get him a monkey lizard and he can just have it on his shoulder all the time.
Yeah,
I love those things.
Yeah, that was just so frustrating that we've spent so much money on that.
So what you're saying is you want me to talk your son into buying all kinds of things?
No. He'll either want to buy one of the little monkey things, like you've got the lizard monkey thing, or the a droid, which I'm okay with a droid. I don't think he'll want a saber. We did the build your own saber thing, they used to have a long time ago, that were huge chunky pieces, whatever.
Yeah, they still have.
Yeah, and oh wow. But I don't think he'll want to do that. He might, but I'll probably talk him out of that. But I can see him doing the droid.
The droid's fine.
Kick out
the droid's
cool. I'll get a kick out of it. I'll do one.
Yeah, it's fun to do with him. I did it with Grant. He's 5 years old, so I'm going to talk you into buying or building a lightsaber.
No, I don't.
I'm going to talk you into it.
No,
he's going to sing the "Do you want to build a snowman" song.
It's not going to happen.
Change it to lightsaber.
What if I get one of our listeners to buy it for you?
It's going to sit on a wall and not do anything.
Oh, I play with mine every day.
I know you do, but
yeah. We all know you do.
I don't need a lightsaber, so don't. It's not going to happen. But.
All right, we'll see.
We're trying to build our cosplay now. I'm making some. I bought some acrylic sheets and I'm cutting some ID badges that I'm trying to fashion some kind of light up thing like the ones they have there, similar to that.
Yeah.
But
I think
I've bought some little LEDs and little batteries and just kind of click on it. Yeah, something
similar. You can kind of see it lights up a little bit. But yeah, I got this on Etsy too.
Yeah,
I just go through Etsy and like type in Galaxy's Edge and look for weird custom items.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just order them and be like, eventually, once I have like 20 or so cool items, I'm just gonna do a video on that, like Galaxy's Edge items not from Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
And just go over my favorite stuff that I've bought that are just weird custom items.
Well, I know a cool shop you can get some stuff at. kidding. I want to, when I was making these sleeves, I wanted to just to make them for friends and send them to friends, and then people wanted to buy them. So maybe I'll just start sending some out for friends. So maybe Dano will get one. He'll just show up.
There you go.
It might have to show up in a video then.
Yeah.
It already has, actually.
Yeah.
So.
Being on the show.
Yeah, thank you for that. So do you have something out of all of your collection that you have, Galaxy's Edge, everything, that's like your prized possession?
Yeah, it's not Galaxy's Edge, but it's Star Wars Micro Machines. It is the like Naboo Palace playset.
Oh, cool.
I haven't opened it yet, but it's the most expensive individual piece. It was $400.
Whoa.
Wow.
But it normally goes for about $700 to $800.
Whew.
And I got it for it's one little set, but it's so rare that it's like I haven't opened it, and I'm gonna do it on a video eventually, and I'm gonna like be sweating the whole time because it's gonna be like my most expensive individual video. I mean, I did the one with all the lightsabers, and that's quite a bit, but like $400 on this 20-year-old toy. It's a little nerve-wracking to know that I'm gonna do it, but for now it's like my one like grail piece that I finally got a hold of after watching it for years and looking on eBay and searching. When I saw like the right moment of it going to 400, I was like, I have to do it. Like I've been watching this thing at 800 and 600 and 7, all up and down for years. So it's the Naboo Royal Palace playset of Star Wars Micro Machines.
Nice.
When you do open it, it'll be like you'll be hearing like a million screams.
Yeah.
In horror.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to make that video as suspenseful as I can. I'm going to draw that out and be like, oh my God, we're really doing this.
People are going to faint. Great.
Yeah, I used to keep everything in a box, and then I just decided one day, you know what? I want to open some stuff. So I just started opening stuff. I should have filmed it, but I didn't. I just started opening it.
Never too late.
Yeah, that's true. Film it on my phone or something. Okay, one last thing, and we can talk about whatever else. You got to tell me about the Sad Baby.
Because, Sad Baby Squad?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so let me grab a toy. I don't know if you guys can see this through the Skype thing. Of course, there. See that little? You can kind of see it there. That little logo. It says it's for ages 0 to 3. Shouldn't have it. It's a little baby crossed out. When I was doing more just straight toy reviews, I would, I do close-ups of it with my camera. You can see the package and everything. And I would always read that and say, oh, well, it looks like 0 to 3 sad babies approve of this toy. And I wrote the packaging. And that just became a thing that I would just regularly say every time I was looking at packaging. It was like, oh, look, 0 to 3 sad babies approve of this. Just, something stupid to say.
That's awesome.
And eventually I started calling the people who they call them notification squads or whatever. The people who get the notifications and show up first for all the videos. I started referring to them as my Sad Baby Squad. So like when Galaxy's Edge came around, I was like, I need to name a droid. And I asked my community, said, hey, what should I name the droid? They said S4D B4BY. So Sad Baby. And they use the channel logo colors. And so I did, and that's this one. And I don't know if you can see if you've seen pictures of it, but it even has like a little teardrop underneath there when I custom painted him. And then someone else came up with a name for the monkey lizard of Sabasqua Bid, which is a rearrangement of the letters Sad Baby Squad. So it's just like one of those weird little things that the community kind of thought was funny, and I just leaned into with it. And yeah, that's where it came from, was from toy packaging.
Yeah. And my son, the 5-year-old that was in here, has adopted this. I think we were watching a video of you or something.
Oh, yeah.
And so he'll pick up a toy and he'll be like, oh, Sad Baby, sister can't play with this one because I have a 2-year-old too. And he's like, nope, Sad Baby, sorry. And he'll take a toy away from her like, that's a Sad Baby toy. You can't play with this one. So
nice.
It's carried on, but so I had another question, but then we started talking about Sad Babies. Oh, so did you start, or you're sort of in charge of, or are these the droid meetups?
Mubo's Droid Builders Club. Yeah. I started that. I started that back in July, a couple weeks after I built my first droid, because I started customizing mine, and I said, you know what? I know a bunch of other people are going to do it. Started looking on Instagram, saw like 2 or 3 other people had also started custom painting them. I said, all right, I need to make a group where we can all just share this stuff. And so I made it, reached out to some of those people, said, hey, I love your droid. come join the group, and just started sharing it around and posting it everywhere. And now, like, it is its own thing. The members of that group are coming up with insanely creative customizations. They started doing the backpacks. I don't know if you've seen those.
Yeah.
It's a cat carrier backpack. It's meant to carry a cat, but they cover it in like Star Wars stickers. They call them droid escape pods, and they put their droids in them. They put LED light strips, little like flashing, little signs and everything. And they're customizing the carriers for their droids after their droids are customized, and it's getting crazy with like the amount of creativity these people have. It's amazing.
Oh. So I heard that the next one has been canceled because of.
Yeah, we announced that today. We're canceling due to the coronavirus outbreak, because we do meetups about every other month at the park. Last time we had like 60 to 70 droids show up.
Wow.
And we don't do them inside the park to start. We do them outside, like at the picnic area and in Disney World. They had one at Disney Springs outside the Star Wars shop. The East Coast Disney World group side of it isn't as big as the one in Anaheim, because the one in Anaheim is like a ton of locals who can just show up whenever. So we have a bigger turnout in Anaheim, but we're looking to grow the East Coast one. So if any East Coast listeners or Disney World people who go regularly and have droids, just pay attention to Mubo's Droid Builders Club, because we'll do gatherings just about every month or other month, and people just hang out, talk about their droids, learn tips on how to paint them, and it's just kind of nerding out on that specific aspect of Galaxy's Edge.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, I live in Texas, so I'm between the coasts. So I'm never there when these meetups are happening, like the lightsaber or the droid. But that would be cool to experience live. Okay, so
these meetups are cool. Like the meetups are one of my personal favorite parts about Galaxy's Edge, is seeing how all of a sudden community just came together and started doing these things. Yeah. It's naturally just happened. It was just like, okay, now we're gonna. I don't know if you saw footage from the last lightsaber meetup.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It got shut down.
Oh, really?
Shut down. Wow. Security 1 got involved. Not like security, not security's managers, but security's managers had to come in and say, you guys need to disperse.
Oh my!
Because of how much traffic we were blocking. There were probably about 500 lightsabers at one point in front of the Falcon, and we couldn't move. Like. It was definitely a fire hazard, but it was so much fun.
That's so cool.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, nowhere near that when I was there last time. 500 lightsabers. That'd be crazy.
It was insane. It was like we really couldn't move, and we grouped into colors. And so you've got like people shouting, like 100 people shouting blue, blue, blue. And next to you is the purple group yelling like purple, purple. And you can't move. It's like being in a concert. If you've gone to like a concert, the really packed one. Been like right up front. It was like that, where there's no real getting in or out, and the colors had to like kind of, as a group, like a line of purple would start to slip away from the main crowd and go over to like the first order area, and we tried to organize it by colors to like make it a little better. But this next one's going to be May the 4th, provided the parks are opening and operating the right way. But May the 4th, they're going to do another one, and I think in Anaheim they're doing another lightsaber meetup May 31st for the 1-year anniversary of Galaxy's Edge. Like the public opening. So cool. There's already talks of those being just as big. So they're going to try and organize and have different colors go to different areas at different times.
Yeah.
So maybe there's not so much of everybody in one spot in front of the Falcon, because it was insane.
Well, I'll probably just have my own lightsaber meetup, just me on May the 4th. I'll turn them all on and just sit in here and look at them. Because I've got 2 Savis. I got Mace Windu's. I have an old Anakin from the Disney parks way back when. And then all my other ones, my toy ones. So I'll just have my own lightsaber meetup.
You specified your toy ones.
Because these are real. Well, how about these are the ones that are made out of metal, and then these are the ones that are made out of
still
plastic.
A toy. I mean,
yeah, it's a showpiece. I don't know. Fine, it's a toy.
He got real mad when he let me hold one and swinging around, and I was hitting against the other one. He's like, "Stop! Don't hit it."
You were swinging it like a
lightsaber.
You were shaking it like a shake weight. I was like, "What are you doing to this lightsaber?" He was going full force.
No, I was hitting your other saber.
It was a lightsaber.
Stop.
You shake it, I guess.
I don't remember that.
He was playing Bop It. That's
Yeah.
Pop it. Twist it.
all.
I did see a video. I don't know if you saw it, Dano, of a dad just bought the Legacy Darth Vader one. Was really proud of it. Kylo Ren came up to his daughter. They were going to do a picture. So he gave it over to her for the picture, and then Kylo does this thing where he pulls the kid and's like, "Let's go walk." He held it by the blade and just dragged it across the ground.
I heard about that. I didn't see it, but I heard
it was
about
so
that.
hard to watch.
I saw the post.
Yeah, it was so hard to watch. You're just sitting there going, "Oh." That's why funny. I call these toys and these not toys.
Collectibles.
So I asked this of all of our guests. We pretty much know that you geek out about Star Wars, so we'll take that off the table. Away from Star Wars, what do you geek out about?
Music.
Music? Cool.
I geek out like weird indie, a lot of prog music, like different, like not stuff you hear on the radio, like a lot of indie. Like I grew up listening to ska and punk music, and then got into more just weird progressive math rock kind of stuff. So that's my other stuff that I really nerd into, is just different kind of bands you don't hear everywhere.
Cool. Yeah, two of us are musicians. Chris isn't.
Oh, right on.
No, I'm tone deaf. I make joyful noises.
You do make some noises. No, that was my that was my job before I came to stay with her dad. I was a musician, and so that's
cool.
what I did. But I don't get to do it as much anymore because two small children sort of take up most of my time. But,
yeah, I know how that is. You know, mine are much older now, so they're. I mean, it's kind of cool. They're at the point where they're very self-sufficient. Like my 14-year-old is now got a girlfriend and goes and hangs out all the. He's hardly ever here. And then my other one who's 11 is just always out in the neighborhood. I'm like, this is great. I've been waiting years for this. Finally, I have like more free time. This is cool.
I'm about to be 42, so the time I get to that, I'll probably just be in a nursing home or something. They're either going to keep me young or they're going to age me really fast, especially with no sleep. But
well, what's the latter?
Anyway, sorry. I just got another. My phone just blows up with Etsy things. When are these going to be on sale again? They will be on sale when they're on sale. Anyway.
Oh.
Anyways, that's cool. Music, Star Wars, same thing here. That's what I love. So here's your spot. We've been going for about an hour. Where can people find you in the world? On YouTube, Instagram, wherever. Where this is your time. Just take it and plug away.
All right, youtube.com/The Dano Channel. You can find, that's where most of my social media presence is on YouTube. Small presence on Instagram at Dano Flores, DANOFLOREZ. And I'm not as big on Twitter as I used to be. I rarely use it, and Facebook somewhat, but really my big platforms that I like and like enjoy posting regularly is Instagram and YouTube.
Cool.
So yeah, definitely find me there, and I'm sure I'll have my hands in other projects here and there. Between the droid group, one thing we didn't mention, I kind of mentioned a little bit, was the bounty hunting. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah. I meant to mention that.
That was an interesting kind of idea I came up with a few weeks back, and that's been a lot of fun. That's actually been a lot of fun to do this, like live bounty hunting. So another place to find me is batubountyhunt.com. It just takes you to the Facebook group, but you can learn a little bit more about this live stream bounty hunting game that I decided to create at Galaxy's Edge.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you got to. It'd be cool for you to somehow expand that to Disney World and have.
And I think we're going to. I mean, I won't be able to do it myself.
Yeah.
In Nevada, but through the live stream and through the Instagram platform, where you can dual live stream, like I can start a stream and you could be in Disney World, someone else could be in Disney World, and I could give out a code word or something and have them be found in Disney World. We're going to do that. I've got more people who've jumped up and said, hey, I want to do my own hunt, and how can we do it? And so once we get all this coronavirus business worked out and the parks are running again, then I'll look into how I can set that up and maybe just make it its own creation. Just have, maybe I'll be the guy who starts community groups, start the droid group and let it become its thing, start the bounty hunt group, let it become its thing, come up with something else in a couple months and see it, that'll be the Dano channel legacy, is just starting up these little subgroups.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, it would be cool to do the hunt. Maybe next time. Maybe in October we'll get with you about doing a hunt in Disney World.
Yeah.
That's a cool thing about Galaxy's Edge. It's all about we talked about this a little bit earlier, about playing and just having fun, and makes it different from the rest of Disneyland and the rest of the parks. You can just become a character pretty much and just
do your own kind of thing. It's a real life Star Wars playground. And if you as an adult, if you just want to dive in and play, you can be a kid again. You can be that, when I'm there, which is why I like to visit so often, I am 11 again, just playing Star Wars toys. I literally go there to play with droids with my friends, which is kind of like a funny thing. Like, I was telling my wife, because she didn't come with me to the first meetup, but I brought her like the second time. I was like, look, I really do come play with, they're real people.
I have friends.
Yeah. Yeah. When I was there last time, I had two guys come up to me, and probably because I had the Darksaber, and they're like, "Hey, man, you want to join our group? We're going to do Chewie mode."
Nice.
And I was like, "Oh, I just walked off the ride though," and I was like, "I would love to, but I can't wait in line again right now. Maybe later if you come find me." Like, I literally walked off the ride and they saw me. Which was cool. The guy with the broom, one time, one of the days I was there, the guy that I was telling you about, the Jedi broom guy, he walked me over to the Falcon and just put me straight on. So that was cool.
That's
yeah. So that's
awesome.
cool how they do stuff like that. But I wish he would have done that for Rise, but I guess can't do that.
Yeah, that's pretty different.
Well, cool. Thanks. I mean, you got anything else you want to talk about, or?
No, I think we're good. I think that's go find me on my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Follow me on Instagram. I'll be coming up with new, different stuff all the time, playing with my droids and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'll send you some pictures of when I get some other stuff finished and see what you think about them.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
But thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, you're welcome anytime. Yeah, we try to keep it relaxed and fun. So thanks for coming on. You're welcome anytime. Go play. Have fun at Disney. If you're listening, if you're a new listener from the Dano channel that's come and found us, thank you for checking us out. Check out some of our other episodes. We have all kinds of YouTubers and people from the industry on, from Star Wars and Marvel and everything in between. We had them on, so just check back. And then sometimes it's just us three talking. But thanks for joining us. This has been episode 138 of I Am Geek, and we will talk with you next week.